Hello guys, good day, C2020, especially to our respected professor, Ma'am Orellano. I hope you are all doing well today. So I'm here to present our report titled Social Media Content Strategy. So hello guys, I'm Dexter Baynosa and our group will report social media content strategy. So let's discuss it. Social media content strategy. For me, social media content strategy is a plan that contains all the ins and outs of how you will use content to grow your brand and reach your goal on social media platforms. For example, some bloggers and celebrities use social media like Facebook to promote their products. Yeah. And so, for not further ado, let's go to the next slide. So, next slide, please. So, here is the learning outcomes and social media content strategy. So, first is defining goals and target audience for social media presence. For example, maraming blogger and celebrity na nag-vlog sa Facebook or kahit anong social media is, siyempre, may tinatarget silang audience. Kagaya na lang ng mga motovloggers na target nila is mga nagmamotor. And dahil doon, na-endorse nila yung mga product ng mga parts ng motor or etc. And like mga foodies, like sino pa ba yung mga vlogger na lagan ng foods. Basta, hindi ko na masyadong sasayatin pa. So, next is planning and creating engaging content, text, image, video, and links. So, para makikayat mo yung mga nanonood sa'yo sa social media, dahil maganda yung content mo. Lagi kang may naisip na magandang content, tapos maganda yung text, readable. Tapos yung image or video is dapat representable, like malinaw, high quality. At saka yung link, siyempre dapat, siyempre pag share sa iba, sa Facebook, dapat reliable. And next is using content calendar to maintain consistency and manage content flow. So dapat hindi lang ganito, like may mag-vlog ka, so daraw hindi. Dapat may calendar ka ng content calendar to maintain your consistency. So may plano ka, parang time management or content management sa pag-vlog sa social media para sa strategy. Is patuloy-tuloy siya, hindi siya paputol-putol. That's all. That's learning outcomes. Next slide, please. What is social media content strategy? So, first is, a social media content strategy is like a map and a guidebook rolled into one. It's essential documents that tell you how to get from point A to point B to ensure a return on investment (ROE) from social media. Tells you where to post, what to post, and how often to post to meet your goals. It gives you direction as well as a way to reach your destination. So, without a sharing, using social media to grow your business might be too random or scattered to work. With a plan in hand, however, you have a better shot of reaching the right people with the right content on the right platforms. So, sabi nga, dapat tama yung content mo sa platform mo yun. Siyempre, paano ma-reach yung goal mo kung iba yung content mo tapos iba yung, you know what I mean? So, next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. Social media content strategy. So, what is social media content strategy? Ito, pinagpatuloy lang natin. Let's continue. Social media content strategy is a plan that contains all the ins and outs, kagaya nga sinabi ko kanina, of how you use content to grow your brand and teach and reach your goal on social media platforms. So, ideally, your strategy will be documented so you can refer to it as you carry out the tasks associated with creating social media posts, publishing them, and tracking your result. If you have a team, your strategy documents also will help keep everyone on the same page. So, that's all for me. Next, please.
So, good day to everyone, and I'm going to continue the discussion about what is a social media content strategy. So, the content you post on social media can turn your brand into a household name and your followers into fans. So, this kind of impact only comes from having solid social media content strategy. So, the best way to stand out on social media is to identify specific goals, create valuable posts that align with them, and distribute the right content on the right platforms. So there isn't not one cookie cutter social media strategy that will guarantee success. Your strategy will differ depending on your industry, audience, and performance over time. There are, however, specific ways to build a long-term plan that grows your brand and business. So the first one is to identify and set goals. The first toward a long-term social media strategy is to set your content goals. Having goals in mind will help you start planning out the type of content to create. So, this process involves digging deep into your brand values as well as researching your audience. So, start by getting clear on your overall marketing goals and how you want your social media content strategy to serve them. The more specific your marketing goals are, the better you will be able to tailor your social media content to meet them. So the second one is to research your audience. You can create great social content without knowing who it's for. Having buyer personas for social or fictional representations of your ideal customers will help guide your social media content plan. So start by using your data to surface basic demographic information like age and location. Then take this further by gathering insights about how your ideal customers talk about your brand, industry, and products. So this will help you paint a clearer picture of who they are, what they care about, and what kind of content they might want to see from you. So additionally, talk to your customer care team to whom in your audience common. Fact, what they love and what frustrates them. The third one is to analyze your social media competitors. To understand how your social media content strategy is performing, you need to look beyond your own data. Competitive analysis will help spark ideas for your content, or what they doing, what they can do better. So what formats do they use, and create better benchmark and goals of your strategy. So let's go to the fourth one. The fourth one is to audit your current social content. Once clear your audience and goals, it's time to conduct a social media content audit on what you've created so far. So a content audit is one of the best ways to know how to create a content strategy for social media that fits your brand. This will help you substantiate what you think is working well with quantitative data that shows you how each post performs. Look at which posts perform well, which ones didn't, and what you posted each platform. What you look for in the audit should align directly with your content goals. For example, if one of your goals is to improve the brand awareness, look at your follower and count impressions of reach on each platform and identify which post resulted in a new followers. That's all, and let's continue the discussion.
Good day everyone, I am Angel Rufin, and now I will be discussing to you the continuation of social media content strategy. The number 5 in social media content strategy is choose your content types. It is important to choose and know what kind of contents you will be posting, as well as to know what kind of content your audience likes and needs. In choose your content types, this is where you can have fun with data-driven creativity. Short-form video is extremely popular, but when crafting your social media content plan, think back to the social buyer personas you set up and think about what formats they're likely consuming. Change up the types of content you're publishing as well. According to the Sprout Social Index 2022, consumers like to see brands they follow highlighting their product, service, or personality, or posting demos and customer testimonials. Repetitive or overly promotional posts may turn fans away, so change up your content. The number 6 in social media strategy is build a content calendar. A content calendar is important because it is helpful to know what and when's the right time to post on your social media. In Build a Content Calendar, once you know what performs best and you've identified your primary goals, it's time to build a social media content calendar. A calendar will let you take a big picture approach to your social media content plan. It will help you visualize your ideas and organize them, making your strategy easier to execute. Your content calendar will be a hub for everything you post. The seventh one in social media strategy is promote and distribute your content. Promoting your content is important so that it can reach a wider scope of audience. It is not just about posting your content but as well as promoting it to other people. Your social media strategy goes beyond what you post on your social channels. A good strategy involves finding ways to actively distribute your content to maximize brand awareness. Here are a few ways to plan your distribution. First, schedule your content ahead of time. Second, encourage others to share your post. Third, use platform-specific features such as the share button in Facebook as well as in Instagram and Twitter. And then collaborate with creators. When we say collaborate with creators, you will hire influencers to promote your products on their social media platform. The last one in social media strategy is measure results. It is important to measure your results so that you will know what content is successful and what is not. The last step to an effective social media content strategy is measuring the results. Proper tracking is vital to creating a strategy with longevity. Keeping detailed metrics will help you tweak and optimize your plan over time. You can also use your results to A or B test types of content. When we say A to B, you will choose between two strategy, between those two, what is more applicable or what is more successful in terms of posting your content. For example, in A to B test type, the Atlanta Hawks, for example, tested with the polished or more casual videos performed better on social. They discovered that casual content was a winner for them. Analyze your content every month to keep track of what's working. Take a top-level view of how each piece of content performed and the variables that contributed to it. Assess how well the content supported the goals you set in step 1. To sum it up about social media content strategy, putting it all together, craft your social media content plan. Effectively planning a social media content strategy is an ongoing cycle, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Plan your process with the ideas and resources above and stick to these essential strategic steps to develop great content.
Week 6 and 7. Engagement and interaction on social media, ethical consideration, and credibility. Learning outcomes. Effective ways to engage with followers, respond to comments, and handle feedbacks. Utilize hashtag, trends, and user-generated content to increase visibility. Building meaningful relationships and networking online. Addressing ethical challenges in social media usage and presentation. Properly citing sources and respecting copyright during presentations. Also, maintaining maintaining professionalism and credibility in online and offline interactions. Let's proceed. What is engagement on social media? Anyone else, do you know what about engagement on social media? So let me explain you. Social media engagement is a measure of all interaction with your social media content. Popular types of engagement including likes, comments, and share of your content. But those are not the only engagement metrics. Social media engagement can include share, retweets, comments, likes, followers and audience growth, and also click-through. Mention either tag or an untag using branded hashtag. Why does engagement matter? Why does engagement matter? Why is social media engagement important? Well, for one, you want to your audience to clap for the show you are putting on. If you are hearing crickets, which naturally migrate away from a habitat, once social media engagement appears, you get a problem. But high engagement means more than an ego boost. When your engagement rates high, you know you are dialed in with your audience. This means people are spending time on your content, which is good for you and the social media platform. So the different platforms are like TikTok want to people to spend as much time as possible on their apps. Higher engagement metrics tell the TikTok algorithm you're making quality content. So they boost your reach accordingly. You get more eyes on your content, and the network get more people spending time on their app. Think of the symbolic relationship between you and the algorithm. Everybody wins.
Good day. My name is Orellano, and my report is 8 tips to increase the social media engagement. So first is analyze your engagement. It's hard to measure your growth if you don't know where you're starting from. See which posts or campaigns land at the top and the bottom of your analytics. Identify any patterns you notice, maybe taking head posts are nearing engagement extinction, while the numbers for our top 5 roundup posts have blue. Track message, comments, excuse me, and mentions to this will give you insight what your audience want more or dislike. Is everyone messaging you have the same 5 questions and how to use a product? It might be take a time to make an answering those questions. Use your data to identify brand advocates are the standout outline. Fans will always like the comment on your post. Maybe it's time to ask them or collaboration. So number 2 is to create a specific engagement strategy. So develop an engagement social media strategy to support your engagement specific goals. You have to create an entirely new social media strategy, but rather work in a branch dedicated to engagement. First, determine your engagement goals. This may be first, changing public perception of your brand. Maybe second is the developing new customer needs. Third is collecting feedbacks about new products and educating your audience with the resources and advice. Once you have identified where you want to go, brainstorm some content designed to deliver on your goals. Then work this content and into your overall social media calendar. So number 3 is know your audience. It's hard to get people engaged if you don't actually know who are talking to. Knowing your audience will also help you determine. First is maybe what social media sites to be on, when to be published, and when content types to create, and when your brand's voice. And number 4 is create a share valuable content. Content that's helpful to the audience and addresses their needs and pain points. It's critical. Things conversations, not broadcasts. Content that gives your audience what they want before ask for. It is bait that will reel your social media engagement. People don't care how great your brand is. They care about your brand that can also help for them. So number 5 is keep the conversation flowing even when it's spelled wrong. Practice both reactive engagement and proactive engagement to keep your audience interested. When you are reactive, you're answering the direct message, incoming mentions, or comments. When you are when you are reactive, you're answering direct message in incoming mentions. Then, when you are proactive, you are sparking conversation with who are talking to about you haven't necessarily sent a message to you directly. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I'm Delgado and I'm going to discuss about number 6, which is show your human side. So you show your human side, it's way more tempting to engage with the brand when you think there's a real person on the other end. So para ka lang din nakikipag-usap through internet. Let's take for example yung Facebook sa comment section, or halimbawa ikaw mag-start ka ng conversation sa comment section, then hayaan mo yung mga audience mong sumagot o sumagot sa mga katanungan mo, and then vice versa din, kapag may tanong yung audience mo, pwede ka ring sumagot, or kung meron man may mga comedy humorous people din sa comment section, pwede mo rin sakyan yung mga joke nila. In that way, mas makikilala ka nila na marunong ka makipag-interact. So number 7, keep response time speedy. So ibig sabihin lang nito, dapat mabilis ka rin mag-response. In that way, mas magkakaroon ng kaliwanagan sa halimbawa may tanong yung mga audience mo. So mas mabilis din nilang malalaman kung ano ibig sabihin yung mga bagay na tinatanong nila. And then number 8 is schedule smarter. So ang ibig sabihin naman nito is yung time or date nung pag-upload ng content mo. In that way, mas malalaman ng mga audience mo na active lagi yung account mo or yung content mo, active ka sa pagpo-post. And then mas malalaman din nila kung kailan ka magpo-post or kung anong oras. So summary, what is social media engagement and why is it important? So social media engagement is the measure of how your audience interacts with your content, reflecting their level of involvement and interest. It's important as it boosts brand visibility and a loyal community and enhances the effectiveness of your online efforts. So, ang sunod is, what is the key to social media engagement? Authenticity, consistency, and value are key. Publish meaningful, relatable content, and on a schedule and actively respond to audience comments. This will foster genuine connection, driving higher engagement. And last is, how do you build engagement on social media? Foster interaction through compelling content informed by your analytics, timely responses, and strategic scheduling. Encourage discussion, ask questions, run interactive campaigns to involve and captivate your audience. So, yun lang. Thank you.
Good morning, guys. My name is Karl Thomas, and I'm here to discuss about ethical considerations and credibility. As the introduction said, that social media has become a crucial part of modern society, with billions worldwide using these platforms to communicate, share information, and develop connection. Social media has many benefits, such as enabling people to stay updated and connected with friends and family, allowing businesses to communicate with customers and facilitating exchanging of ideas, thoughts, and information. However, social media has its downsides. One major issue is the spread of misinformation and fake news, which can have serious consequences from undermining democratic processes to endangering public health. Another issue is cyberbullying, which can lead to mental health problems and even suicide. In addition, social media can be addictive and negatively impact mental health, particularly for those who spend excessive amounts of time on these platforms. As you can see on the bulleted list below, ethical implications of social media users. The first one is privacy. The second one is online harassment and bullying. The third one is misinformation and fake news. The fourth is addiction to social media. Fifth, issue of transparency. Sixth, discrimination. And the last one, content moderation. Regarding with that list below, privacy is one of the most pressing ethical issues in social media. Social media platforms often requires to share personal information to create a profile. This data is then used to personalize the user's experience on platform and targeted them with advertising. However, this practice has raised concern about the misuse of personal data and the potential for data breaches. Another ethical consideration is the potential for online harassment and cyberbullying. Social media platforms provide a platform for users to communicate with each other, but this can also lead to online harassment and bullying. This can have serious consequences for the victim, including mental health issues and suicide. The spread of misinformation and fake news is another major ethical consideration for social media users. False informations can have serious consequences, and that's it. In addition, into ethical considerations and credibility, social media companies are responsible for addressing these issues and designing their platforms in a way that prioritizes their well-being. Some companies have taken steps to combat misinformation and cyberbullying. For example, by implementing fact-checking systems or warning labels on content deemed misleading. Other companies have changed their platforms designed to reduce addictive features. And ultimately, it is up to individuals to use social media responsibly and be aware of the risks and ethical considerations involved. Also, by using social media thoughtfully and responsibly, we can all help to create safer and more positive online environment.
So, my name is Nhelvin. I'm Garcia. So, yung next ethical implication is there's an issue of addiction into social media. So, research has shown that excessive use of social media can negatively impact in our mental health, including depressions, anxiety, and addiction. So, yung labis na paggamit ng social media is nakakasama din ito sa ating mental health. And a very good example of that is yung bullying or yung discrimination. So, yung ibang mga users nahusgan sila based on their personality or looks. And, ayun, hindi lang mga sikat but yung mga ordinary din na gumagamit ng social media is nakaka-apektuhan din. Yung mga comments na hindi magaganda is nakakapagbigay yun sa mga users ng depressions or anxiety sa kanilang mental health. So, itong dalawang next na ethical implication na i-discuss natin is yung issue of transparency and data security is connected ito sa large-scale data collection. So, bago natin ito explain or i-discuss, punta muna tayo dun sa ethics of large-scale data collection. So, i-explain muna natin yun para mas maintindihan natin kung paano ba nangyayari itong mga issue na ito. So, there's an ethical concerns para sa large-scale data collection. So, ayun yung issue of privacy. So, in large-scale data collection, often involves collecting sensitive personal informations such as location data, and browsing history, purchasing habits. So this information can be used to create detailed profiles of individuals, which can they be used for targeted advertising or other purposes. So, simple lang, those data na nako-collect nila sa atin involves personal information ay pwedeng magamit yun or pwedeng makapag-create ng isang detailed profiles na pwedeng magamit into other advertising or other purposes. So, sa ethics of large-scale data collection, one of the primary ethical concerns of large-scale data collection through social media is the issue of consent. So, when we say consent, pagbayag, so users of social media platforms often need to fully understand the extent to which their data is being collected and used. So, this lack of understanding can lead to a situation where users unknowingly consent to manage their data. So, tayong mga users, kailangan maintindihan natin, malaman kung paano or saan ba ginagamit ang ating mga data na ibinibigay or kinokollect sa atin. So, kailangan aware tayo bago tayong maglabas ng mga personal informations para hindi ito magamit into different malicious use of data. So, so yun nga, na-explain na nga yung tungkol sa pagkuha at paggamit ng mga data. So, punta tayo sa issue of transparency. So, companies and organizations that engage in large-scale data collection must be transparent about their data collection practices and how they use the data they collect. So, user must understand what information is being collected, how it is being used, and who it is being shared with. So, sa issue of transparency, nabanggit na natin kanina na kailangan tayong mga users alam natin kung paano at kung saan gagamitin yung mga informations na nakakollect sa atin, especially those companies and organizations na nagko-collect ng mga data. Kailangan hindi basta-basta na ilalabas yung mga data na kanilang nako-collect para sa privacy ng mga users. So, yung next ethical implication is the issue of data security. So, large-scale data collection can result in vast data being stored in database. So, this database can be vulnerable in cyber attacks, and loss or theft of this data can have a serious consequence for individuals. So, basically, this issue of data security sa mga big companies or organizations na nagko-collect or nag-handle ng mga large scale of data. So, kailangan aware sila sa mga pwedeng mangyari sa mga data na hawak nila. Dahil nga, vulnerable yun sa mga cyber attacks, and yun nga, na maaaring pagkawala or pagkuha ng mga data na pwedeng gamitin into different malicious use of data. So, yung next ethical implication is the discrimination. So, social media platforms have been accused of facilitating discriminations, particularly gender, race, and ethnicity. So, this can be hate speech, trolling, and targeted attacks. So, discrimination on social media refers to the unfair treatment or prejudice against individuals or groups based on their race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or other personal characteristics. So, discrimination can take many forms on social media, including hate speech, offensive comments or images, and exclusionary behavior. So, dito sa discrimination, talamak naman itong discrimination sa iba't ibang social media platform, and gaya nga na nabanggit natin kanina, na pwedeng makasama ito sa mental health ng mga users, na iba't ibang mga users, dahil sa mga offensive comments or images na ibinabanggit nila dun sa isang users. And yung last na ethical implication natin is yung content moderation. So, social media platform face the difficult task of moderating content. So, and there are concerns about censorship, freedom of speech, and bias. So, content moderation is important for maintaining a safe and respectful environment on social media platforms. So, it can help prevent harmful or offensive content from being shared with a large audience, protect users from harassment and discriminations, and prevent the spread of misinformation or false informations. And yun, para sa content moderation is nakakatulong sa mga content na pinopost, nakakatulong ito sa mga content na pinopost in different social media platform para mabawasan yung mga pagkalat ng mga misinformation at mga offensive content.
Good day, everyone. Ako nga po pala si Jeorgie Durano from C2020, and I'm going to discuss about copyright and fair use. But before that, what is copyright? Copyright is the legal concept that works, art, writing, images, music, and more belong to the people who create them. According to copyright law, any original content you create and record in the lasting form is your own intellectual property. This means other people can't legally copy your work and pretend it's their own. They can't make money from the things you create either. So, ano mga halimbawa nito? Ang mga halimbawa po ng copyright ay yung mga audiovisual gaya po ng palabas sa TV, pelikula, at online na video. Mga recording na tunog at composition ng isang kanta, mga nakasulat na gawa gaya po ng aralin, articles, libro, at mga kinompose na kanta. Yung mga visual gaya din po ng paintings, poster, at advertisement. Mga video game at computer software. Mga gawang nauugnay sa drama gaya po ng dula at mga musical. Ilan lamang po ito sa mga halimbawa po ng copyright. You can still cite and refer to other sources, including copyright materials in your work. But to use, copy, or change a copyright and work, you need permission from the person who holds the copyright. This permission is called a license. Although everyone has the right to require the others respect their copyright and ask permission to use their work, some people and organizations choose to license their content more freely. They do this by giving their work a Creative Commons license or by placing their work in the public domain. So, ito po yung mga way kung paano i-approach yung may-ari ng isang content nang hindi nalalabag ang copyright nila. Una, magtanong sa may-ari ng copyright, kung payagan kanyang gamitin ito, ang ginawang content, mas magandang humingi ka ng nakasulat na pahintulot sa kanya. Halimbawa, nga po yung license. Minsan naman ginagawang available na may-ari ng content ang gawa niya para magamit din ng iba nang hindi po ito pagkakakitaan. Ang ilan naman po pwedeng gumamit ng content mula sa copyright nang hindi humihingi ng pahintulot sa may-ari ng copyright. Dahil itinturang ilan paggamit ng mga nakaka-copyright ng gawa bilang patas na paggamit o nasasailalim ng mga ito sa limitasyon o pagbubukod sa batas sa copyright gaya ng patas na transaction. Traditional copyright. Where can it be used, adapted, copied, or published without the creator's permission? What does it apply to? All original work is protected under copyright when it's created. Creative Commons. Work may be used without permission but only under certain circumstances. Creators set rules for the way their work is used. What does it apply to? Only work that creators have chosen to designate as Creative Commons. Public domain. Work can be used, adapted, copied, and published completely without restrictions, no permission needed. What does it apply to? Work published prior to 1923, work by long-dead creators, and work that creators have placed in the public domain. Obtaining free content. If everything on the internet belongs to someone, how do you obtain images, music, and other materials you can use in your projects for free? The answer is through public domain and Creative Commons licensed content. To learn more, review the tip.
Tip number 1. Use public domain content. There are no restrictions on using works that are in the public domain, which means you can use them however you want, short of claiming that you created them yourself. Unfortunately, it's not always easy to tell whether or not something is in the public domain. There are maybe some cases when you know for sure that a work is public domain. For instance, if you find a photo or text you are sure was published before 1923. But for the most part of the best way to find the public domain content is to search for it specifically. Tip number 2. Use Creative Commons content. Although Creative Commons content won't cost you any money to obtain, it is not totally free. To use it, you must follow certain rules. People who choose to make their content Creative Commons can choose one or more of these licenses to apply to their work. Number 1 is attribution. You must credit the creator in order to use copy or share the content. Non-commercial. You can't make profit from the content. Number 3 is no derivative works. You can't change the content. The last is share alike. You can change the content, but you have to let other people use your new work with the same license as the original. You can't treat any share alike work that you adapt as your own copyright even if you radically change it. Using copyrighted material. As you learned earlier, you generally need to license copyrighted material in order to use it, which often costs money. The expectation to this is a rule called fair use. Fair use means you can use copyrighted material without a license only for certain purposes. These include commentary, criticism, reporting, research, and teaching. You can't grab a copyrighted photo and use it on your blog because you think it's pretty. However, it probably would be considered fair use if you include the photo in a blog post that commented on and analyzed the photographer's work. Next. Guidelines for fair use. A majority of the content you create must be your own. Give credit to the copyright holder. Don't make money off the copyrighted work. The summary is the ethical considerations. The whole summary is ethical considerations in social media encompass issues of credibility, privacy, and copyright. The credibility of information shared on this platform is often at risk due to the proliferation of misinformation and algorithm biases. Privacy concerns arise from the collection and use of personal data, while copyright infringement remains a prevalent issue as users share copyrighted content without permission. Striking a balance between free expression and responsible content sharing while respecting intellectual property rights is vital to maintain the ethical integrity of social media platforms and the trust of their users. That's all. Thank you. I am Phyll Sedrick as Daquita.